if we didn't evolve from the apes, then where did we come from? I say before we ask the question, where did human beings come from, we should first ask the question, what is a human being? A human being is a combination of matter, mind, and consciousness, or spirit. And there is scientific evidence for this. We don't have to speak about the ordinary matter because everyone already accepts that. But what evidence is there for a subtle mind element associated with the human organism that can act on ordinary matter in ways that we can't explain by our current laws of physics? One type of evidence comes from experiments with random number generators. Robert John was head of the engineering department at Princeton University in the United States. He began doing some experiments with these machines. A random number generator is a machine that will generate a random series of zeros and ones. If you let the machines run by themselves, they will generate 50% zeros, 50% ones. But John recruited students from Princeton University to sit in front of these machines. And they were instructed to simply will mentally that the machines, for example, generate more zeros than ones. The experiments have gone on for over 10 years with thousands of trials, and they have found that the students were actually able to do this. They were actually able to influence the machines to generate more zeros than ones or more ones than zeros, simply according to their mental intention. This provides evidence for a subtle mind element associated with the human organism that can act on ordinary matter in ways that we really can't explain by our current laws of physics. Is there any evidence for a conscious self that can exist apart from the body, apart from the mind? There is. It comes from medical reports of out-of-body experiences. There are times when a person should be completely unconscious. For example, during a heart attack, blood stops flowing to the brain. Medical instrumentation shows that the brain waves cease. During such moments, a person should be completely unconscious. However, some people in this condition report separating from their bodies and observing what the doctors and nurses trying to revive them are doing. And these experiments have been duplicated in many countries. Physicians in many countries have noted this phenomenon and have concluded it is genuine. So if we look at all the evidence, we see that it is more reasonable to say that a human being is a combination of matter, mind, and consciousness than to say that a human being is simply a combination of the ordinary material elements. So then, if we want to speak about human origins, we have to explain where all these things came from and how they came together in the human form. So once we accept that a human being is composed of matter, mind, and consciousness, this leads to the idea that we live in a multi-level cosmos, where one level is dominated by ordinary matter and inhabited by beings adapted to the conditions there. That's where we find ourselves now. But beyond that, there is a level of the cosmos dominated by the subtle mental energies and inhabited by beings adapted to the conditions there. Throughout history, people have had different names for such beings. They have called them angels, gods, goddesses, astral beings. There are many names for them. However, beyond that, there is a level of pure consciousness or spirit inhabited by beings adapted to the conditions there. One thing we notice about consciousness, it's individual, it's personal. This suggests that the source of all conscious beings is also individual and personal. It is possible to stay on the level of pure consciousness or spirit, living in harmony with the source of all conscious beings. However, if a conscious self gives up its connection with the source of all conscious beings, it enters into the lower levels of the cosmos. It enters into the regions of mind and matter and becomes covered by those elements. So that is what I mean by devolution. It's the process whereby a conscious self departs from the level of pure consciousness or spirit and enters into the lower regions of the cosmos, becoming covered by the lower elements of mind and matter. So, to put it very simply, we don't evolve up from matter, as many scientists now believe. Rather, we devolve or come down from the level of pure consciousness or spirit. But it is a process that can be reversed. Every great spiritual tradition of the world has some process of meditation, prayer, or yoga, which is meant to help restore the conscious self to its original position, to free it from its coverings of the lower energies. And that is the actual purpose of human life.